We're ready to make the pizza dough. To make the pizza dough, you know, it's simple. It's flour and a little bit of oil, but you need to raise it. So let's begin with proofing the yeast. Water at body temperature. You know, if the water is warm, the yeast will react. If the water is too hot, then it will kill the yeast. So it has to be at body temperature. A little bit of sugar and a little bit of olive oil. Okay, we'll mix this. Just mix it well and leave it until it begins to bubble. It begins to the yeast begins to activate. We have the flour, salt in the flour, and so I am looking at it, and I will put in a little bit more of water. I like my pizza dough on the soft side, almost on the sticky side, because the softer it is, the fluffier the pizza gets. Okay, so let me just change the equipment here. Let me get the dough in there. I want to really work it because bread dough, pizza dough, you want to really develop those glutens in there so that it stretches and builds nicely. You knead it for about 10 minutes. Give it a good knead. It should kind of stay off the sides. Take a little bit of flour. And it's nice and smooth and soft. Take a bowl, a glass bowl, just a dab of oil. And you want to oil the sides because as the dough rises, this facilitates its rising so that the dough rises without resistance here. Put it right in the middle. And you cover it with plastic wrap. You can raise the dough two ways. You can leave it out. It's warmer out. It'll raise quicker. In about an hour and a half, it will be up. Or you can raise it in the refrigerator, which will take about 4 hours. But the slow process of raising in the refrigerator really creates much more flavor in the dough. So let's put it in the refrigerator. The sauce is really simple. Get yourself some San Marzano tomato in a can. These beautiful tomatoes, just like that. Then you put them in the food mill, and you get this nice kind of paste. What you do, you drain that because, you see, you don't want the sauce to be too wet. You don't want your pizza to be wet, to get wet. You want it nice and crispy, so you want it dry. You take this tomatoes that you've passed through the food mill and just put them right here, and you flavor it. The pizza sauce should not be cooked. Let's put some crushed garlic. I want that garlic flavor. It's not cooked, it's raw garlic right in there. I'll put a little bit of salt now. A little peperoncino, because I like a little peperoncino. A little bit of oil. And a little bit of dry oregano. And you know, I love this that looks like a little flower. And you just, okay. Let me just crush these little pieces here. Smells good. Let's collect it and let's put it right in here. While the dough is rising, the sauce is flavoring. We'll clean up and then we'll come back and grill the pizza. But in the meantime, you know, I love it when you guys come to my social media and you ask Lidia. And this is Herb McMahon from Abington, Pennsylvania. And he writes, what's the best sauce for pizza? And what is the difference between pizza sauces? Well, the best sauce is something as simple as this. It really is. You can add some basils, you can add all the herbs that you like, but the best sauce is something as simple as this herb. Pizza was not something I grew up with. The first time I tasted actually was in Rome when we were immigrating and going come to the United States, and that's in 1958. We went to Rome to get our visa and our things, and I remember, you know, that's what we had for lunch. And I loved it. I loved it because it had that kind of flavor of the oven, which I loved, recalled Grandma baking that bread in the oven. And then kind of, you know, tomatoes and melted cheese. Who doesn't love that? The dough has risen and we're all set to make the pizza. I think we can get 4 pizzas out of here. Just let me keep this so it doesn't form a crust. It's always nice to keep the dough covered. And so let's make you want to pull it nice and gently, almost on its own weight. It pulls out. You don't want to do it with a rolling pin or whatever, because of course you would kind of squeeze it in. Okay. Just find yourself a baking sheet because you're going to carry it to the grill and slide it off the baking sheet right onto the grill. So you want to make sure that it doesn't stick. That's one. Okay, I can make another one right here. Okay. And you don't want it too thin because then it will burn. Okay. And I think, you know, I'm kind of trying to make the shape of the grill so I maximize the grill, okay? Check periodically, but let it get a nice crust. That's number one. Let it get a nice crust. Get all your ingredients ready here. In the oven, you get the top heat. Here you don't. So what you need is, if you do it on the outside grill, you have your cover. But otherwise, you will need one of your old pans, if you will, just to cover it once it begins to cook. Okay. So I am smelling something, and I am looking. I think this one might even look ready to turn. Okay, let's see this one. Okay, that looks good. Now it's cooking from underneath, so it's finishing to cook. The sauce, very little, not too much sauce. You don't want. Just a little bit of sauce here. Just a little bit of cheese here. And a few basil leaves. Although the basil leaves could also be put at the end. Here, I think I'd like maybe just a little slices of prosciutto, just like that. with some cheese on top of it, just like that. I think that looks good, so I will cover them now because you want the top to get cooked as well. Masterclass Pizza Basics. Learn how to make the perfect pizza dough. Always proof your yeast. Remember, if you want a crispy crust, make your dough wetter. Use a sheet pan if you don't have a peel. Don't forget to preheat your grill or oven in advance. Don't overload your pizza with sauce or toppings. Well, it smells, and I think it looks ready. All right, here we are. Let's do some cutting. So you see, it's easy. You just have to get the knack of it. Did I leave a little few corner pieces for myself? Okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave this little piece for myself. So this is ready to be served. You called your broodon, say ready, but then you have to continue and making more. Depends on how many people you have. And you know, if you make a double batch of dough, you have all this and you just keep on making them. And it's so much fun making them and cutting them in front. So it looks well done. Underneath is just perfect. The cheese is melted. Will it get that crispy that you get in a regular pizza oven? Maybe not, but you know what? Maybe you can put a little less of cheese and then you don't sort of melts easier. But let me taste while it's still hot, for God's sakes. Really good. It's crispy, it's delicious, it's molto buono, molto buono. So buono that I don't even have time to talk to you, but I have 2 more pizzas to make, so I'm going.